Oh, hey, you guys, a little more juicy drama with your boy, Michael G. So, as you can see, I'm a little bit sunburnt. Sorry about that. I may not look too appealing, but a little bit of burn here, a little bit of burn there, a little bit of burn everywhere. But sunblock helped to some degree, believe it or not. So I want to talk about my managers. Um, I was pushed into signing a corrective action, right? I was going to get to the bottom of this. Well, I'm going to explain what happened. So, corrective action. Okay. I figured out the corrective actions for attendance for 1 month. For 1 month. Now, I've had a little bit of a pattern, granted, coming in a little bit late here and there. Sure. Absolutely. But one of the reasons that I kind of have been coming in late more, one, I've had a lot of anxiety due to my horrible boss making me feel like I'm not sure if I'm going to have a job tomorrow, that sort of thing. She does. I will say this. At first, I was going to go easy on my main manager overall. I'm not. She's just as bad as the person that I have to answer to for my one-on-one. So I'm shining a light on this. Um, I will say this. My bosses, I don't know them really personally, but all I know is I never want to see them again. That's how much I can't stand them. I hate working for them. I it's mainly the it all started with my lead, I guess you could say my supervisor, um giving me levels of anxiety about this job I've never had. I've been doing this job for 12 years. Now, granted, this is a different client within the company that I work for. So we do outsource call center stuff. I still won't reveal the nature of my work because I do respect the privacy of the company until they give me a reason not to. Looking at you. I have a feeling though, so a couple viewers actually did point out that it is very likely that my managers know about this channel, and I will say this: if you do, screw you. It doesn't matter if you do or not. You just suck. You're awful. Um, because you treated me like garbage. You made me feel like garbage, and this has been one of the worst experiences ever. I now understand what people talk about when they talk about horrible bosses. Sometimes I think people are exaggerating. Ah, 12 years of working there, I got spoiled. Now, granted, there was one supervisor I had in the past, but luckily, it didn't last long. Thank goodness. Um, I was able to switch supervisors within the client that I was on. Um, so there's a lot of leeway. But I will say this: I just don't. The funny thing is, I just don't feel like there's any job security, and they don't take my requests seriously. My manager, because I've had a little bit of an issue with talk time, but my rap time is great, so I still take more calls than everybody else. Um, I asked how I was ranking in average handle time, at least for the week. I didn't need to see anybody's names. I just wanted to see like what the numbers were. She gives me the talk time numbers, but she had said during the little because we had to have a chaperone for the one-on-one because my supervisor is in my opinion, don't know how true this is. Maybe she should see a doctor about this. Is a fucking sociopath. I've never felt more uncomfortable with anyone in my life. This is the worst super fucking advisor I've ever freaking had, dude. It just blows my mind. I get angry thinking about her. Like, that's how bad it is. She's caused me more stress in this job than anybody I've ever had to work with. And that's crazy. Like, I've had bosses that were mediocre. They tried though. They didn't seem vindictive. She seems vindictive. And also what pissed me off is one of the things that she did say in one of our freaking past one-on-ones, which was so annoying, by the way. She had said, and it's not recorded, none of them were recorded, but they're like in a Teams meeting sort of thing. So it's like what she said was, just, because I was coming in a little bit late, here and there. But what really pissed me off, and what made me want to come in late even more, not only just out of spite, but also because she just makes me feel awful. I've never had a supervisor in my life make me feel this crappy. And to all of you who have ever doubted when they say they have a horrible boss, I'm sorry about that. I'm not empathetic enough. Yeah. So one of the things is, so I'm going to get to the corrective action part. This is like one of the most long drawn out stories I've ever done. But granted, they had me sign a corrective action because 1 month my reliability was 85%, where the whole goal is like 95% or something for reliability. So my supervisor puts me in a weird position because, one, I do want to come in and do the job, but I get extreme anxiety knowing that I have to deal with somebody that's actually that putrid of a human being. Now, what I'm going to say, though, is that she did lie blatantly. I don't know if maybe she has a lapse of memory or something. I'll actually give her props on that. Maybe she had a lapse of memory. I can't show the benefit of the doubt to her, though, because she's been such a piece of crap to me. So I'm actually just not going to show her benefit of the doubt. I'm just going to assume she's a sociopath. That's my assumption. I'm sticking to it. What was really disturbing about it, though, was I had mentioned that, yeah, one of the things that she had said early on when I had to have her as my supervisor is she had mentioned that it's time to start acting like an adult. You need to act like an adult. You need to start acting like an adult. It was like, okay. And I knew I had no respect for her after that. I had zero respect for her after that. I tried. I actually did try. I did make an attempt. I made actually several attempts. More than I probably should have. And I think the gloves are just off. I don't... Anyway, so what's happening is this. Her and my main manager pushed me, and I'm just going to say forced because it seemed a little more forced. I read the corrective action. I didn't agree with it, though. Because if my boss is the sole reason for me not wanting to come in because of the anxiety that she brings, because I've never had a boss give me this much anxiety before, ever. About, like, wondering if I'm even going to keep my job. And it's not even a statistics thing. It was me, like, coming in late every now and then for lunch, stuff like that. There were other factors. Like, I had missed a couple whole days because I was just like, fuck it, I'm not coming in. I have to deal with that person, that terrible person who makes me feel like garbage. No, thank you. So this episode's it. I'm going to do more episodes about these people because I want people to realize that if you're dealing with a sociopathic boss, you need to go over them. And by the way, I'm going over my manager's head on this one. I even told her, I don't trust you. I even told both of them, flat out, I told them I don't trust them. It's as simple as that. I just don't. But it's been kind of a weird one. Am I going to get fired? Who knows? They might make up something because they're vindictive and they're not nice, clearly. So I've kind of become numb to it all. It's been such a huge back and forth. I've never had to deal with this in my life. And I've worked there by the way, I've worked for this company for 12 years. I mean, I'm not going to lie. So the company did get bought out by another company, and this company that bought it out actually really sucks. And it's just not a good company. Flat out terrible. And the reason I say it's a terrible company is because they're just an AI company, basically, if we're gonna be honest. But yeah, so even though I don't trust the process, I still want to shine a light on how, well, first off, how horrible my supervisor is, but also just how much gaslighting I've been getting from my main manager. Um, so the gaslighting and just everything, it's just been terrible, 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 terrible. And I don't like to complain. I'm really not much of, like, as far as complaining goes, it's one of the things that makes me sick. But I figure this is kind of a way for me to get out some of the anger that I've been feeling towards somebody who I feel is just, ugh. It's a problem, man. I'm just trying to figure out how to face it all. Because it's like, here's the thing, man. When you've been doing a job for as long, when you're doing the, but ugh, I can't even speak. I can't even think. I just get so angry. I get upset. Like, thinking about this person is upsetting to me. Like, and usually one person doesn't bug me this much, doesn't make me feel this terrible. But I get it. People having horrible bosses, totally get it. By the way, and by the way, if they do try to wrong me in any way, shape, or form on this one, the only thing I can do, I just need to shine a light on it. That's all I got to do. I just need to reveal the kind of people that they are. That's all. That's about it. See, the thing is, on this channel, I reveal exactly who I am. Because I want people to know who I am. I'm not perfect, granted. I've got a potty mouth. But I don't have, I speak a little candidly, but this whole situation, man, has been stressful. And I'm going to be deliberately cheap. I mean, after my vacation's over, I'm going to be heavily considering just doing DoorDash full time. Or actually, I might just take another vacation. Might as well. 2 weeks later, another vacation. Why should I care about this company? They clearly don't give two shits about me. I do actually come in. I do perform at a pretty decent level. Am I probably middle of the pack? Sure. It was weird because she wouldn't actually show me my average handle time, which was the weirdest thing in the world. Like, this bugs me. This really bugs me, and I think it should bug any normal person. Sure, I know my talk time's a little high. In fact, I'll give you an example. Our talk time is a 4-minute talk time, right? And 4-minute in what would I have? Like, I actually keep track of my stats a little bit because I feel like I've been gaslit quite a bit by my management team, and I still don't think they're showing me the full truth. I just don't think they're telling me the truth, if I'm going to be honest with you. I've never felt so much distrust from management. It blows my mind. I have to go above them because I feel like, one, the stats are not true. They won't, it's funny, they won't show me where I rank on the team for average handle time. Now, I don't need to know the names of the people. I just want to know, how am I doing? How far away am I from having the best handle time on the team? How far away am I from third place? Granted, we only got like 7 people. But yeah, I'm just sick of them. I'm sure they're sick of me. Clearly, if they're giving me this much grief because of something, but I don't think they expected that I would actually go above their heads. I don't think I think that they thought they could push me around. I'm not going to be pushed around. Not today. And look, it'll probably go nowhere. In fact, they'll probably look for a reason to fire me. They'll look for it. I know this business. And I guess the odd thing is, it's like, I didn't think I would regret actually going onto this client, but I regret going onto this client. I regret it completely. And it sucks. I don't want to regret it. I don't want to, but I regret it. That's good shit. But I do want to say, happy 4th of July to everybody. I just kind of had to get this off my chest. I'll tell you about my weekend here in a second, but I got to shine a light, because I'm depressed. If we're gonna be honest, one-on-one, I am depressed. I have to choose between a job that I've really liked for a long time. I can't say this client's been a lump of joy. In fact, this client has been awful, if we're going to be honest. But my management team has been twice as bad. So Snoop +1 says, if anything happens, you'll bounce back. I know that. I'm just sad that it's going to have to end in this way. I would have loved to walk away from this job happy. But Tom Brady said it best. Sometimes when you retire, sometimes you don't, when you retire from like things like the football, for instance, if like you're on a team, sometimes it's not always a happy ending. That's unfortunate. And I have to accept that. But yeah. No, and I know I'll bounce back, and I appreciate that, bud. But like I said, it's one of those things that I didn't want it to be that way, I'm eating some chili, by the way. Having some chili mac. Really good. Really tasty. But it's a shame. Yeah, I'm gonna be frank. It does make me feel bad. But no, I had to make this video. It's been gnawing at me. And I just want there to be some sort of proof. Well, it's not really proof, but, a way for me to defend myself in some way. Like I said, the worst part about this is I'm decent at the job. I'd say lately I'm middle of the pack, for sure. Not the worst. I was a little perturbed, I was a little bit disturbed that, I requested I wanted to know what the average handle time was, but all she could show me, by the way, was the rap times. No, the talk times. And that was disturbing to me because I told her, I was like, well, you said that I ranked 6 on average handle time. Why am I being ranked 6 on talk time, but my rap time is impeccably better than everybody else's? That must mean my average handle time might be way better, So, average handle time, for those who don't know, is a combination of your talk time and your rap time. Now, our goal for this client, hear this, 4 minutes for the talk time, right? 1 minute and 30 seconds for the rap time. Grand total, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. What was it? I think I had like a talk time of 4 minutes, 20 seconds, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. In my rap time, get this, about 20 seconds. Was it 20? Maybe 22. I don't know. 20 seconds or 22 seconds. Either way, that's pretty good. That means I'm meeting the average handle time by a lot. Sorry, I thought I saw something like I think people are lighting a little bit of fireworks outside, so maybe it's not a little bit flashing. Anyway, but if we're gonna be honest, I'm just solely. This is the worst I've ever felt about this job. And now, don't get me wrong. I can do DoorDash 8 or 10 hours a day. Also, I would get taxed less doing DoorDash because I'd be using miles on my car. Snoop plus one says sounds like a lot of calls in a day. I mean, yeah, I do. You know what's crazy is I take about, let's see. I mean, depending on how busy the day is, if it's a slow day, 40 to 45 calls on a slow day. And I keep track of how many calls I've accepted throughout the day because I do get to see the stats, and I get to see the stats compared to others. So I can actually see that I've accepted inbound calls more than anybody. But yeah, and I just feel gaslit on the stats. That's the thing. I don't like the statistics being flubbed. And if I feel like they're being flubbed or miscalculated in some way, I'm a little bit pissed. I just want to know where I rank on the team on average handle time. I know my talk time, and I'll improve it. That's fine, whatever. I don't really care anymore, to be honest. Why should I care? Why should I? Clients backwards. My management team is clearly backwards. I get curious about certain things, and I get basically told I'm insane. It's just... It just sucks. Been with this company for 12 years. I don't mind when things change. But what pisses me... here's the only change that I think matters is progress. Progressive style, not regressive. I feel like the managers that I have to deal with are a regression. A regression. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Hear a few fireworks outside. But I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. I got a little bit sunburned. I was at the river. Felt good. Just very, very burnt. Very, very dry. It's okay. I'm a little red, but not too bad. Snoop says management is backwards everywhere. It's usually cliquey people that spent too long at the company and are stuck in their old ways. Well, here's the thing, man. I've been with the company for a while, and I do, for the most part, adapt. Granted, I adapt. I really do. Like, I do have the ability to grow and improve. And I do listen, which is the worst part about this. Mind you, I can't always keep the talk time, but, I mean, when you have a wrap time as low as mine, if my average handle time is top of the pack, which it probably is, and my manager didn't want to give me the satisfaction by showing me the actual average handle time stats, which she just didn't want to give me the satisfaction of me knowing that I was actually performing better than she told me I was. So I just assume that she's gaslighting the shit out of me. I want to know. I want to know the truth. So that's why I'm going to have it looked into by people above them. Snoop plus one says people above don't adapt because they're trying to justify their role. You know, I think there is a use, by the way. I think there is a use for management, believe it or not. I do know that, you know, I think a corporate structure is not necessarily a bad thing. I just think that when you have the wrong people in management, that's where it gets to be a problem. I'll give you an example. I may have been with the company for 12 years, but I've never sought to be a manager or a supervisor. You're probably thinking, well, that means you just have no ambition. On the contrary, I actually do have a lot of ambition. It's just not at that job. I enjoy doing a great job for the 8 hours that I'm there. I really do. I like to perform to the highest of my levels. I really try. Um, but I realized that the people who I work for just I don't know what they want. If we're gonna be honest, I don't know anymore. Um, it's wild though. It's wild. Cheers though. Feels good to be back. But yeah, I'm gonna be on vacation soon enough, and I will say once I'm off vacation, I'm going to heavily consider. Um, yeah, I mean, I put up with too much for too long. I even told my manager I'm done with her too. She's allowed a terrible supervisor. So here's how it goes. It's me, the man. Me. The hierarchy goes like this: the agent level takes the calls, blah blah blah. Then oh, hold on, gotta pop my neck. And then the supervisor, and then the manager, right? So my supervisor is the one who gives me the one-on-ones, gives me the breakdown, blah blah blah. And then my manager is the one who coordinates everything, keeps everything in line. Snoop will answer your question here in just a second. But yeah, that's what management does. And like, I'm not opposed to having management structure in a corporation. I just think that sometimes the corporate culture that for certain companies is just so stupid and toxic that you can't help but either have bad actors who end up being managers, or it's just I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell anymore. Um, all I know is I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan anymore. I really used to enjoy this job to the point where like I really felt kind of giddy to come into work, and that has been lost, all because of one person, all because of one supervisor who has made things awful, and then all because of one manager who has not taken me seriously in any way about this person. You know, the funny thing about supervisors, the funny thing is it's like, oh, she's done all these things to try to change. Here's the deal: they don't. Especially sociopaths like this person, they don't change. They will pretend to change. They'll pretend. They will pretend. It's disturbing. And once they pretend to change, then yeah. No, she's not going to stop being a sociopath. I have learned that I can't expect any change from her. I can't expect her to treat me decently. And at this point, I can't expect my manager to take anything I say seriously because she hasn't at all. She hasn't acknowledged anything. She hasn't acknowledged that maybe my crappy ass supervisor, who's made me feel like garbage more times than any. I'm just, yeah, it's so funny. We even had a mediation that we're going to have a working relationship here moving forward. Do you feel like you can work towards improving the relationship? It's like, I was actually willing to try during that meeting until the supervisor blatantly lied about the whole adult thing, because I mentioned earlier about how she had said we gotta start acting like an adult. Like she had said that, and she probably doesn't remember. That is fine. That is a possibility. But I feel like it bugged me. It's like, of all the times to have such selective memory. And of course, it's not recorded because it's like, as far as like text goes, because these are actually vocal conversations over like a Teams meeting thing. So it's like, I don't know. I'm irritated, and I hate to go on here. No, I do actually kind of enjoy going on here and bitching about it because I'm bitching about it. Yeah, I'm bitching like crazy about this. I sometimes just feel like bitching is necessary. Not a fan of it though, but every now and then it is necessary. All right, Snoop will answer your comments here. Hold on. By the way, I gotta know, why is that oven so small? The oven's small mainly because, well, that's the oven that came with this apartment. So, and yeah, it's a tiny oven. It's surprisingly efficient though. You know, maybe a tiny oven, but man, does it bake a mean pizza? So it's not as. Here's the thing. I think from a distance, because the distance from the camera to the oven, it's kind of a distance. So it might make the oven appear smaller than it really is. But yeah, the oven's not. The oven's kind of tiny, granted. I'll give you guys that. Anyway, Snoop says good structure is great when the leadership is formed with people that care. I think it's just great when, yeah, I mean, that care, want to actually see, you know, everything work out. Um, I just don't feel like, I just don't think I can have a working relationship with these people anymore. Um, I think the bridge has been burnt. I mean, not here's the thing. It's not I who has burnt the bridge. It is they who have burnt the bridge. I just decided that since they burnt the bridge on their end, I decided to start burning the bridge on my end too. I definitely do not want them coming onto my side of the fence. But yeah, I'm angry. I'm hurt, man. I'm hurt. Like, this has been on my mind. You know, I was able to enjoy my time at the river. I didn't think about it too much. I did vent about it to my mom, but yeah, I thank goodness my mom's still around, by the way. Like, uh, especially with everything that happened last year with the whole freaking brain tumor thing, man. Snoop plus one says, I'm in a similar situation, gave them an ultimatum with a fixed date, and I'm leaving if it's not met. They're aware. We'll see what comes of it. I'll just to give you some inspiration on what I've been doing. My course of action may not be the best way to go, and I would definitely take anything I say under advisement because I may be incorrect. But this, and I'm trying not to get upset while talking about this because it's tough for me not to, because I feel very wronged right now, and yeah, and rightfully so. I'm gonna eat some chili, by the way. Here's some chili. I'm gonna eat it in front of you guys. Hot and spicy chili, by the way. Oh my goodness. But as far as it goes, you guys, it's like, you wish, there's a part of me that wishes these people could change. But like I said, it is foolish of me to expect these people to change. And why should they? They're stuck in their ways probably just as much as I am. Sure, I've been able to adapt to some degree. Actually, to a lot of degrees. And I've been able to succeed at a high level. I definitely do need to have what's going on. There needs to be a light shine on what's going on. And I will say, if they don't take the situation seriously, and if they don't retract the corrective action, then I'm going to be looking for another job personally. And you know what? That's exactly what they want. That's exactly what my managers want. Because they haven't shown me anything else except for that. Um, but yeah, I've had lots and lots of resentment towards the supervisor I have to deal with. I feel like she's just terrible. But I want to be a little bit hopeful, but I don't think anything's going to come of disputing this corrective action. Oh, Snoop. Snoop is asking what's a corrective action. So, a corrective action is this written warning that you need to change your behavior. And granted, okay, like I said, I've come in late a couple times, even before this last month, right? I've had a little bit of issues with timeliness. It's been one of my major downfalls. But I haven't had necessarily a corrective action on it. My reliability looked good. It's looked good for a while. But I really had been trying to improve until, I mean, honestly, like a lot of the reason I don't like coming into work is because of the person I have to work for. And that is my supervisor. And it's tough. It is real tough. This is the first time I've had a boss I'm just like, whoa, I wish I did not have you as my boss. Like, and I will say that this feeling started a while ago. Um, so I'm pissed, legitimately pissed, and yeah, I will say this: I never want to speak to them again. I had 1 month where my reliability was 85%. Granted, all the other months were pretty good. 96, 95, 97. There was one where I dipped below the 95% threshold, 94, 93. Other than that, though, I stayed within threshold for the most part. And, yeah. Oh. But, you know, I'm just going to keep milking it. And since Snoop says, I'm about to hit the bed, but hope everything gets better for you. Happy 4th of July. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think things will get better. I think things will get better if I get fired or quit. So once I get fired or quit, at least it's all done, you know. Um, do I wish it wasn't such a emotional roller coaster though? Yeah, I wish it wasn't. It's so rough. Hmm. Hmm. Well, like I said, a couple of YouTubers have actually YouTube people on the chat before previous episodes where I've talked about my bosses had stated that they might already know about the YouTube channel, and that's an interesting thing in itself. So they probably do. And maybe they don't, but they probably do. All I can know, I mean, I can't know everything, obviously, but I could work in probabilities, right? So it could explain, like, if, for instance, maybe they don't like my political views, maybe they don't like the way I think, maybe they don't like I dress, they don't like the way my apartment is, maybe they don't like the fact that I'm good at this. I'm not the best at this, not by a long shot. I'm still getting better at this though. This YouTube stuff, but it could explain why they treat me in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable. I I just decided to be much more resistant to it. Um, but yeah, I'm going right above them. I told them I don't trust them. Mm. Some hot chili, by the way. Mm. You know, normally I go with Natalie's chili on the chili mac. I'll give you that. It's a lot. This is chili mac. This is my version of it. Granted, it's probably not too appealing to the eye, but it actually tastes pretty good. This is spicy chili mac, by the way. Because I am Mexicano. Everybody's doing 4th of July fireworks right now. Some loud ass fireworks. I tell you. Mm-mm-mm. One moment, folks. I'll be right back. All right. Chili Mac makes me whack. Chili Mac. If anybody's in the chat, though, let me know. So I will say this, though. One thing that always was kind of sketchy, or has been sketchy, about this is we had 2 people get fired, right? 2 people. And then we had 2 people quit. Well, I thought that was pretty interesting. And yeah, it's just, I think the reason the 2 people quit was obviously they didn't feel any job security with this job, and they felt like, what's the point of working a job where there's no job security? And I'm pretty sure Brittany was, well, I just said my supervisor's name. Well, that's okay. I don't even care. I'm not saying her last name, though. But it doesn't matter. She's a terrible supervisor, and yeah, my supervisor's name is Brittany. Yeah, it was bound to come up. I don't even care anymore. Doesn't matter if I get fired because she's treating me like garbage. And I don't respect her. Sprout says bosses suck and are getting worse, in my opinion. I work in a different field, but I think the sociopath connection to management is stunningly similar. My 2 cents is what I think. That's what I said. No, yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I think you have to be a little bit of a psychopath, to some degree, a little bit of a sociopath in a little bit of a sense, to even be in management. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I've had a lot of good managers, though. I've had a lot of good managers that respected me, And if I had a weakness, they would, they wouldn't make me feel that bad about it. Right? They made me feel like I could do things. And, it wasn't the end of the world, even if you, messed it up 3 times in a row. It's just not a relaxing environment. I'll just put it that way. And oddly enough, I don't do a bad job. Like I could say I'm middle of the pack lately, but my average handle time's pretty decent, and yeah. But yeah, overall, it's just it's just distressing. It's distressing to have a boss who I just don't want to work with. But I do see how certain sociopaths could get into management, though. They get into management because they're good at faking it till you make it. I think fake it till you make it is kind of a sociopathic belief anyway. It's my opinion, at least. Sprout says, that's fair. I've had good ones too. I've even been one. It's wild to me how some people choose to execute that role. Yeah, and I think it just depends on the person. I think that, what's crazy is there are good men. Like, I will tell you this: I will take a narcissist over a sociopath because this is gonna sound crazy, but a narcissist at least wants to do things to make themselves look good, like positive things, because they know that they got to do the positive things. A sociopath just uses the rules for their own sick, twisted desires. Usually, sociopaths are on the more. It's funny. I think the road between narcissist and sociopath isn't too far. I will say this though. I think I'd rather have a narcissistic boss. I've had some narcissistic bosses, don't get me wrong, but they weren't that bad. I would choose a narcissistic boss over a sociopathic one at least. So sociopaths, man, oof, it gets weird. It makes me uncomfortable talking about them people, but I don't like it. Doesn't make me feel good. But oh well, when you have a boss that just makes you feel like garbage, you gotta. This is my way of. I figure I have a strange feeling that the process that we gotta go through to get this corrective action retracted in any way is gonna be a bit of an interesting one because they're gonna make it difficult. I know how this company is, and I don't know everything about this company, but I do have a general idea about how they operate. And when I feel like the the reason for my reliability slipping for the last month was solely due to due to how the environment that my leadership has created to make me uncomfortable enough to just throw in the towel, come in late, have anxiety. That's true. That is very true, by the way. But also, I would come in late out of spite lately, like really late. We're talking about 10 or 15 minutes. That ultimately hurt me in the end, but got me a corrective action. But since she has been the sole reason for my disdain for the job, my how uncomfortable I've been, that accounts for something. It has to. It just has to. And I don't ever. This sucks because I have to work with her. If I'm going to continue to work on this with this company or this client, I have to work with this sick person. This person who she talks down. She talks. It just pisses me off how much she talks down to me. She talks to me like I'm a child. And there is nothing more upsetting than that. Granted, I look a little like a kid. I don't exactly dress like an adult, whatever. But I am an adult and I do perform at a high level. Lately, like I said, middle of the pack. Granted. But I'm still performing. Blows my mind, man. Sorry, this chili's a little hot. But yeah, if anybody's got any experiences where they've had to deal with, terrible management, I'd love to hear it, because I'm done with it. I'm calling it out. I gotta call it out, man. Gotta call a spade, man. I appreciate you guys checking out this video, though. Means a lot. Really does. I feel oddly fulfilled doing these videos. I have fun with it. I really have fun doing these videos with you guys. Got that grocery outlet water. I bought some of this for the camping trip. We'll say the one thing I love about grocery outlet, everything's just so damn affordable. I will say, though, most of this content is going to get back to normal. We're going to talk more about, investing. Obviously, this is what the channel's really been about. Just the principles of investing and, that sort of stuff. And yeah. Do I necessarily want to talk about my horrible bosses? No. I prefer not to. I wish it didn't even come down to this. In fact, quite honestly, it's exhausting. But when they're giving me a corrective action, like it's and the main reason for the corrective action is the terrible relationship that I have with my supervisor, it's like there's a causation here that maybe, just maybe, things could get better. But yeah, my relationship with my management team is dead. Completely dead. And at this point, I'm fine with it. Um, I'm just gonna do the job as well as I can, and I can have a professional relationship with them. I just don't want them to think that they can be buddy buddy with me because I am not friends with them. Like, there are people in this life that don't want anything to do with them. And my supervisor is one of them, and my manager, I hate to say it, I didn't want it to come down because I don't think my manager I didn't want to think my manager was gonna be this big of a. I don't even like talking bad about her because I just didn't think she was this type of person. But it's all become unacceptable to me. So I'm just gonna try to come in early, early as possible, and correct my poor behavior. Ugh. Hasn't even been that poor. Anything, I've done a pretty good job. Sorry I've been eating in front of you guys, but yeah, I can't think of too much to say at the moment. Like I said, I'm just tired and depressed, a little sunburned. But I just want to be, honestly, if we're just gonna be honest with each other, I just want to be treated better. I don't ask for much. I just want to be treated better. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. I like I said, the bridge has been burnt. I don't know how to repair something that's this badly damaged. And it is very badly damaged. And it sucks because I don't mind doing the work that I'm doing for this client. I don't want to switch clients. I'm getting paid $18 an hour. And I'm not going to put it down to the situation of it's either her or me. No, I just don't want to be treated like shit. It's as simple. And I think the problem is because they think they can get away with whatever they want. So I'm going to cause a ruckus. And when I say ruckus, you know what that ruckus is? Going above their heads. I haven't told Becky. I'm just going to say her name too. I even told Becky that then I'm going above your head, right? I told her, I was like, hey, Becky, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust Brittany. I don't trust Becky. I don't trust any. And I'm revealing their names because I don't really care anymore. So my supervisor's name is Brittany. My manager's name is Becky. Um, they're awful. I thought Becky was actually decent, but I just found out she's no more different. She's just really good at hiding how much of a crappy person she is and how bad of a manager she is. It's just, ugh. Anyway, Michael Donaldson is asking what happened. So basically, just in a summary, I'm just gonna say this. It's so I'm just gonna say their names. My supervisor. So Becky, Brittany, and I had, and just for context, Brittany's my supervisor, Becky's my overall manager, so Becky's above Brittany, that sort of thing. They had given me what are called these one-on-ones, but they're going to give me a corrective action because Becky had to be a chaperone because the last meeting that I had with Brittany was very, very bad. Brittany's a supervisor, by the way. It was very bad, you guys. It got not like to the point of like no cussing, none of that. But I just didn't accept anything that she was saying because I just felt like she just wasn't being very nice. She was talking, she talks. It's so funny because she talks to me like I'm a child, and it's the weirdest thing, and it's so annoying. Like it's demeaning, and it really is demeaning, and it blows my mind. It really blows my mind. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, but 1 second, folks. Hold on, I had some cuts from earlier. I gotta. 'But yeah, anyway, so I'm trying to make it to where this is coherent. Um, so essentially, uh, long story short, nothing. Corrective action happened. I felt pretty pressured to accept the corrective action when I probably shouldn't have, because the whole reason for it was reliability for 1 month. And the reason that I wasn't showing up for like a couple days, I did call out through normal channels, by the way. But the reason I called out was because I just didn't feel comfortable wanting to come into work. I felt like the work environment's been so tarnished by the supervisor I have to deal with. And yeah. And so, it's just the weirdest thing. I just want to be left alone. To be honest, I just don't like having uh hold on, I gotta put some stuff on here real quick. Rubbing some polysporin on a small cut. This stuff actually really comes in handy sometimes. Sorry about that, you guys. Have to mend to the wound a little bit. I also kind of stretched out the wound a little bit, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened. If you guys want to know the truth, um, she just made me feel. Uh, she just made me feel bad, um, a lot, and it kind of hit a boiling point. You know, uh, I'm just depressed because I don't. I would rather not have to have such a bad working relationship with them. But the corrective action was kind of the last straw, just because I felt like the corrective action was extremely unjustified. You know, and when you feel something's unjustified, you want to find a way to just make it right. Got these equate bandages, by the way. By the way, as an Amazon associate, I do earn from qualifying purchases, and yeah. So anytime you click a link and you purchase something, I may get a small commission. Um, what else? And no extra cost to you, and no extra cost to your bussy. Um, Michael Donaldson says next time tell them to go home. Well, well, believe it or not, I'm not that sexist. And by the way, fun fact, I've actually had plenty of female supervisors, so this isn't like some weird sexist thing. Like I have had plenty of lady supervisors. But so it's like if anybody wants to say, "Oh, it's sexist," it's like no, it's not. It's just the fact of the matter is this is the worst supervisor I've ever had to deal with. Um, and it's just the weirdest thing to me, man. Put on a band-aid real quick. That's pretty funny, Mr. Donaldson. I appreciate it. By the way, guys, check out Mr. Donaldson's channel. It's a very sexy channel. Very sexy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is from the heart, you know. Um, I just, I don't actually want to see any. It's crazy. I don't even want to see any harm to them. I hate them, but you can hate somebody and just not want to see any harm, you know. I just want them to leave me alone. That's simple as that. Oh. Sorry, I kind of injured my leg a little bit earlier. Mm. So, Mr. Donaldson's asking, how did you get so sunburnt? Well, I was out at the river. I put some sunscreen on and stuff like that, and feeling pretty good. It's about it, though. It's about the extent of it. Just, oh, just a bit of a ache. But yeah, I was at the Umpqua River and got pretty sunburnt, to be honest, and feeling good though. I'm gonna take a shower here in just a second. I'm gonna go straight to bed because I am tired. I'm just very tired, very burnt out. Like I said, just very honestly a mixture of things. Very very disappointed. Um, I mean, you name it, man. There's just a lot of feelings that I have right now. Like I said, feelings of sadness. I've just sad. But I'm trying to feel happy again, you know. Trying to feel something. Yeah, I definitely need to take a shower though. But yeah, Mr. Donaldson, man. Yeah, it's just they. I guess for the first time in my life, I don't exactly know what to do. You know, there's an emotional attachment that I have to this. Reason being is that I have done this job for a while with this company. At least the company that got bought out by the parent company. Yeah, a whole different bag of BS. So I just I don't know what to do. I feel displaced. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna take a shower though. I do want to thank you guys for taking the time to view this video. Sincerely mean that. So Michael Donaldson says in the comment section, try to let it go. Those women are probably miserable and want to spread it around. You know, shockingly, I'm not gonna lie, man. That kind of makes me feel a little bit better. Well, maybe not completely, but you know, makes me feel a little bit better because maybe they are. Maybe they are actually just miserable people, and sucks. But yeah, it's probably it, man. The old saying goes, "Misery loves company." So yeah, they probably want my miserable ass to join them in that level of misery. Um, yeah, that's all right. Shabazz says, "What's your job?" Well, I work for a call center company. Been doing it for 12 years, and my life is being made miserable by people who don't know what they're doing, and that's even more frustrating. And I've tried. I've tried very, very, very hard. When I say, I'm sorry, I'm zoning out. I should probably stop streaming here in a bit. Um, Shabazz says 12 years bounce to another one. I might as well. I mean, but I'm getting paid a pretty good amount of money to do what I'm doing. So right now, so it's like, why would I give up the money? Why would I do that? Let's go let the ruined breathe a little bit. Bit of a gut, but I just gotta get that Diddy oil, dude. See what I'm doing? That looks like a Diddy. That looks like some Diddy shit right there. It's good to be back though. I spent the night out next to the river, which is really nice. My girlfriend and I, we went tent camping. Umpqua River, beautiful place, man. Beautiful place. Um, and it was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I need to stop dwelling on this job. The job just hasn't become worth it, man. Yeah, you have a good night, Mr. Donaldson. Happy 4th of July, my man. Yeah, I think I'm out too. I'm tired. I gotta get take a shower and get to bed. That I think will do me some good. Get some sleep.